Welcome to the subject of Digital Business Strategy of CA Business Level 2. So in Digital Business Strategy, mainly we are going to look at the strategic aspect of the businesses in digital when you are managing a digital firm, or when you are managing your information systems, when you are managing your information technology of the organization, what are the strategies that you are going to follow. So actually when you look at the syllabus of the digital business strategy of your CA business level 2 syllabus, you can see the first couple of chapters are more related to the strategic management aspect of the organization. Then it is more related to the information management, information technology and information systems. So in the revision I am going to do I am going to cover all the topics of this digital business strategy syllabus, right? Okay, so first we will look at the first question of the revision. The first question of your revision of the topic 1 is, what is a strategy? So actually strategy is something that organizations are going to develop in order to achieve their objectives, right? So the objectives of the organization will be set according to the organization's vision and mission. To achieve the vision and mission of the organization will set objectives. So if you know this, I think you all know this objective should be SMART. It should be specific, measurable, accurate, reliable and timely. Right? So those 5 things should be there in an objective. So if you look at what are the strategies in order to achieve these specific objectives, the organizations will develop strategies. So strategies are actually actions, right? Actions, what you are going to do. So these actions, the organization develop these actions based on a time plan, that is long term strategies, mid term strategies and short term strategies. Anyway, the strategies is a collection, or it tells about the actions that we have to do, and also it involves what kind of resources that we should use. It can be either human resource, it can be either financial resource, right? Any resource required for in order to make these actions, and also it always towards achieving a specific objective. Right. So with that introduction, we will see what is the answer for this question. Okay. So if you look at the first answer, the course of action including the specification of resources required, right? So the resources required is there. Resources required is there, and also the course of action is there. And also it should be to achieve a specific objective. So the first answer will more related to the answer for the question 1. But if you look at the the next answers, marketing and sales interaction with the external parties, no, it is not the definition of the strategy. Digital procurement methods for vendor transaction, no, it is not. It is not the definition for the strategy. Technology development and implementation in an ERP environment, no, it is not the definition that I already talked with you. So the strategy, the definition is, it's a course of action, what are the actions that we have to take and what are the resources involved, and it should be directed towards achieving a specific objective of the organization. So that the answer for the first question is answer 1. Right. So then we will move to the next question, that is, what is a policy? Okay, so what is a policy actually? Now the organization has strategies, right? Then the organization, they have to have some guidelines, okay? They have to have some guidelines in order to achieve these strategies. right? So that is called a policy. So policy is very broad thing, broader than a strategy, and it is not dated, it is undated. We don't know it actually when you are developing a policy, it applies for the whole time of the organization, right? So an example, now if you look at the human resource department, the human resource department will recruit new employees to the organization. So when they recruit new employees to the organization, they have to give a training, right? So that is called maybe an induction. So every time they recruit an employee, they give 5 days induction. So that is a policy, right? So the strategies, they have many strategies of attract employees to the organization, but after attracting or getting employees to the organization, they have to provide a training, and every 1 year time, 2 years time, or maybe 5 years time, the employees will get overseas training, right? Every year, at the end of the year, they do a performance appraisal, and when you go to the marketing department, they have a guidelines how to treat their customers. This is the way you have to treat your customers, this is the way that you have to speak to your customers. So that is their guideline, right? So that is called a policy. So policies will be a guideline or maybe procedures or regulations or even a law that direct how to achieve these strategies, right? So if you look at the answers of for the policy, the first one is firm infrastructure. No, it is not a policy. The second one, a way to deliver content to an external party. No, that is not also a policy according to my description. Guidance, okay, guidance regarding the way in which an organization will seek to behave in relation to its stakeholders. So who are the stakeholders? The stakeholder is anyone who has an interest over the organization. It can be your employees, it can be your top management, maybe the shareholders of the company, investors of the company, customers, competitors, government, right? Any other organization who have an interest on your organization. So you are developing guidelines how to behave in relation with these stakeholders. So the third answer may be the right answer. We will look at the final one as well. Sales and analytic reporting. No, it is not the correct answer. So the answer is answer number 3, that is the guidance regarding the way in which an organization will seek to behave in relation to its stakeholders, right? Okay. Then we will move to the third question, right? It tells us, or it asks us, long-term strategy is concerned with how many horizons? Actually, when you are developing a strategy, you have to concentrate on a very the time plan of your strategy, right? Or the stages of your strategy. It more related to the stages of the strategy. So this when you are developing a strategy, you have to look at actually several horizons. The first one is you have to develop or you have to see the existing situation of the organization, right? When you are developing a strategy, you have to see the existing situation of the organization, and the second phase is you are going to develop your strategy to earn more profits, right? The first one is to understand the current environment, current existing environment of the organization. The second phase is to develop the strategies to make the profits, and the third horizon is actually when you are developing a strategy or when you are implementing a strategy, you have to look at what are the risks involved in this strategy. Always strategy involves a risk. So these are the 3 steps or 3 horizons actually that you should look at when you are formulating a strategy. You should understand what is the existing environment, the current status of the organization, and then develop the strategies to achieve or to achieve the profits of the organization, and what is the risk involved in this strategy. So when you if you go through that description, you will find there are 3 main horizons of in developing or formulating a long-term strategy, because developing a long-term strategy involve a risk. Yeah, you don't know whether it will be going to be a success or not. So so the first thing you have to do is you have to understand the environment, you have to develop the strategy to achieve profits, and then also you have to look at the risk involved in. Right. So answer is answer number 4. Right. Then we will move to the next question, the 4th one. What is an SBU? Right. Actually, if you look at an organization, I don't know whether you know where the organizational structure, I hope you know, right, the organizational structure. So the top management is there, right, the top management is there, and when it comes to the bottom level, low level, the second layer is you have this operational level, business level, and then you have under each of these business level you have operational level. Right, operational level. So actually this structure is more related to a large scale organization. If you look at a small organization, you might only have the owner and then one manager and then one working staff. Right. This is more related to the small scale organization where you develop only maybe one product, or you are serving to only one customer segment. Oh, right. So you have only one product or service, you are serving very few limited number of customers, you might have this kind of organizational structure. The owner is there and one manager or a supervisor is there, one salesperson, two salesperson, quite a few salesperson are there. So that is a small scale organizational structure. But when it comes to the large scale, this kind of organizational structure is there, right. There is a board of management maybe, that is called top management, with CEO or MD of the organization, and then you have several SBUs related to different product and services of the organization, right. Say you are manufacturing, you are working in a manufacturing organization and you manufacture maybe detergents, soap, right, and shampoo. So these can be taken as one group, one SBU, and say the same organization is having another set of organization, maybe they have a hotel corporation. So that is called group of companies there. Right. So it depends on the organization. So if you are in an organization that develop soap, detergent and shampoo, then these 3 products may be a separate SBUs, right. One is dedicated for soap production, one is dedicated for the household detergent production, right. So if an organization have this kind of 3 products like soap, household detergents and shampoo, they might have 3 SBUs for these products, right. But if you take all these products together, so those are actually kind of one group of products, so they can put all these products to one group, and if there is a group of companies, they have all these detergent products in one group, and then maybe hospitals in another group, and maybe the hotels are in one group. So that is also one kind of SBUs, right. So the SBUs actually, that you can recognize them, they have a specific product or group of products, and they have specific staff to manage that product separately, right. So maybe most of the time the middle level will be divided into several SBUs, or the business level is divided into several SBUs. So each of these SBUs has its own operational staff or operational level separately to manage this SBU, right. So if you look at the answer for what is an SBU, it is called strategic business unit. If you look at all the other answers, it is not sample build unit, system batch update, no, only strategic business unit. So I explain what do you mean by strategic business unit. So here in a small scale organization, you cannot see a strategic business unit if you are having a one product or one service. Or if you are a small retailer, then you don't have such SBUs. But if you have several products, to manage these product and service separately, you might have several SBUs in your organization if you are a large scale organization. Okay. So with that note, we will move to the next item or the question, that is, in strategic management occurs at how many levels in large organizations, right? So even if you are not a large organization, if you are in a medium sized organization also, the strategic management, as I told you earlier, right, strategic management, you have this kind of structure is there. Right. So this is top level or executive level or strategic level, because different textbooks has different terms, right? And this is business level or middle level or yes, middle level. Then this is the bottom one is operational or low level, or even some books it says tactical level. Tactical level, right? So strategic management in an organization will occur in 3 levels, right? Not 5, not 9, not 10. It occurs at 3 levels, right? These are the 3 levels, right? With that, we will move to the next question. The corporate strategy deals with which of the following? So if I go back to my this one, right? So this is called, so there are so many names, right? Top level, strategic level, and also you can see, you can take this as corporate level, right? So when it comes to the corporate level strategies will see the overall picture of the organization, or they are seeing the long term of the organization, right? The corporate level is in the top level. So the board of directors headed by the managing director of the company, or the CEO of the company, or the president of the company. You will have many names for the top level people in the organization. So they are the one who take the long term decisions of the organization. They are the one who see the future of the organization in 5 years time, in 10 years time, where the organization should go. Based on that, they develop the corporate level strategies, and then these strategies will be communicated to the business level, and the business level will plan these strategies and formulate their strategies, and it will be communicated to the operational level to implement the strategies. So that is how the organizations, they do this strategy development. So the corporate strategy, they have to look at it whole, or the holistic view of the organization they should look at. So if you go look at the 4 answers here, you can see the first answer, the overall purpose and the scope of an organization. Answer is very similar to my description. We will see. Differing parts of an organization such as marketing and sales? No, actually the corporate level we don't see separate function. It tells the whole story, right? Or this sees the organization as a whole. So maybe it is wrong. How to compete successfully in particular markets? No. Technology development as part of IT infrastructure? No. Actually, the more related or more meaningful answer is overall purpose. The corporate strategy will look at the overall purpose of the organization and the scope. What is the overall scope of our organization, right. So, after they develop, the other SBUs and functional areas will look at their level, each of their level strategies and functional level strategies separate, right. So, the most related answer is answer 1. Right. Now, we will move to the next question. Technology contributes significantly to value creation in how many main ways, right. So, when you are taking technology, actually technology has its own benefits for an organization. So, when you take a technology, when you take any technology, it gives the value to an organization in different ways. So, there are I will tell you what are the ways in detail and see how many types are there. So, the first one will be the operations. When you implement the technology in your organization, you will have operational efficiency. That is, if you automate your task in the organization, you can achieve more efficiency in the organization. Now, as an example, in an organization, if you have 5 clerks, right, 5 secretaries or clerks to do your office work with manual procedures, and if you implement a software, maybe Microsoft Office you introduce, right, with that you can have a less number of clerks in your organization. Maybe you can reduce number to up to 2 to do your office work. You will not need more clerks to your organization if you introduce a system, right. So, if you introduce any information technology to your organization, the number of people who are involved in the process will be less. Now, take these online lectures. Now, if you are going to do these lectures or this revision in a physical world, you may need lot of infrastructure, lot of space, and also lot of staff. But with this technology, with this recording and all that, you can have a very lesser number of staff, and also you can need very lesser number of resources, right. So, that is what one of the benefits of the organization, that is, you can achieve the operational efficiency in your work. And the second one is, you can develop new product and services because of this technology. Now, if you see everywhere in the society, if you take Uber, 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐿, right, and all these content development platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Wikipedia, right, those are new products actually. And if you take Netflix even, right. So, because of the information technology, they develop their organizations. Now, if you take Uber, they do not have any vehicles by their own. All the vehicle owners are the users of the vehicles. But if you want to open a taxi organization, but you need vehicles, right. But these organizations, they do not need any inventory because of the technological innovation, right. So, like that you can have new developments, new products with this information technology. You can see the world in different way, right. Now, there are many IoT devices, AI enabled systems, right. So, those innovations, new products can be made because of the technology. And the other one is information, right. You can have lot of information regarding every aspect of your organization. Now, in earlier days, if you do not have this the era where we did not have the information technology and even internet, the information that we collected was very less. But now we collect more information with many sources, right. The sources of gathering information became very large. We have call centers, we have social media platforms, right, to collect data, right. And also this data is timely data and accurate, maybe highly accurate data, right. So, you can have more predictions, more forecasting, and you can analyze more information and can come up with many many patterns and trends and relationships in this data and make more accurate decisions regarding your organization with this information technology. Actually, I explained 3 factors here. The first one is you can achieve the operational efficiency, and you can have new product and service development, and you can have more information, right. So, accordingly, there are 3 main ways that the information technology can use or can be benefited to the organization. Okay. So, the answer is answer number 2. Right. So, with that we will move to the next question. Okay. That tells or that asks us, what did Michael Porter devise? What development or what has been invented by Michael Porter out of these 4, right. Actually, Michael Porter is one of the key scholar in strategic management subject, right. He has contributed to the strategic management subject in the era of 1980s. The work he has done is tremendous, right. So, out of these 4 answers, the most suitable answer, his model is, one of his model is actually, what is that? The value chain model, right. Actually, he has invented or he has explained 3 models. First one is Porter's 5-force model in 1980, right. We still use Porter's 5-force model, and then value chain, and also he introduced the diamond model, that is how the a country, as a country, how we can achieve a competitive advantage. It is called diamond model. So, he has contributed to the world of strategic management or in marketing management, or actually for the management field, with 3 main models. One is 5-force model and value chain and Porter's diamond model. So, out of these 4 answers, the value chain is the correct answer. In what is value chain actually? Value chain is the organization, when they develop a product or service, or when they sell in a product or service, how they are going to achieve or how they are going to add value to this product or service is called the value or value chain. In the each stage of the product, how we are going to add value. So, it tells us what is value chain. So, the value chain can be divided into 2 categories. The first category is primary activities, and the second one is supporting activities, right. Primary activities and supporting activities. What are the primary activities? Primary activities are inbound logistic, operations, outbound logistic, marketing and sales, and after sales service, right. The supporting services are HRM, procurement, information technology, research and development. Those are the supporting activities, right. So, the value chain, if I draw the value chain, right, these are the supporting 5 activities, and these are the primary activities, and these are the supporting activities, right. And all these activities go towards to achieve profits of the organization, right. So, value chain tells us how to add value in each of these stages, and ultimately how the organization is going to achieve its profits. So, that is called value chain, right. So, it introduced by the Porter, Michael Porter, okay. Then we will move to the the next question. Value chain analysis can be used to what? Right. So, since you are talking, or since we are in digital business strategy subject, we are looking at the technological perspective, right. Because this value chain can be used in many functions. So, if you are using in technology function or in technological aspects, we have to look at it in a technological approach, right. So, when you look at the value chain, out of all these 4 answers, for what we can use value chain is assess the impact of technology. I will explain later. E-procurement website initiatives. Actually, we cannot tell anything about website initiatives relating to e-procurement through the value chain, right. We cannot tell that actually. Extranet and intranet, no, we cannot tell that thing in the value chain. And also the profits of an organization, of course we can tell, but we cannot tell exactly whether we are going to see the achieve the profits, but it tells about the profits, right. Assess the impact of technology. So, that is the most suitable answer here, because if I go back to the previous slide, I told you now there are primary and supporting services, right. So, in value chain, right, we can see in each of these stages, right, in each of these stages what are the different technologies or the systems that we could implement. Example, for inbound logistics, what type of systems that we could implement to get the quality raw material to the organization. In operations or in manufacturing, what type of systems that we could use. In outbound logistics, what kind of systems that we use. Likewise, in primary services and supporting services. Now, in supporting services, we have the procurement and HRM. So, what kind of systems that we could implement? So, by looking at each activities, the primary activities and the supporting activities of the value chain, we can think, or we can consider what kind of technologies or information systems that we could implement in order to achieve the said advantages, that is to reduce the or increase the operational efficiency and to have new product and services to be developed, and what kind of information that we should gain, right. So, with that introduction, the answer for this is we can assess the impact of the technology through the value chain, right. So, with that we will move to the next question. Office automation systems are which of the following? So, actually what is office automation system? If I tell you an example, Microsoft Office is an office automation system. Office automation system is when you are using in an office, right, your work can be automated. Your instead of writing a letter by your hand, you can type it. So, for that you can use Microsoft Word. Instead of calculate something using calculator or with your mind, you can use Excel and do more calculations, right, and you can develop summary reports. And just delivering a lecture without any note, you can have this kind of PowerPoint or PDF which can be developed using Microsoft PowerPoint. And also if you want to have a database regarding your students or the customers and all, you can use MS Access. So, likewise it is you are going to automate your office activities, right. So, it is called office automation system. Now, these days the secretaries, they use these Google calendars to schedule the events and make notes, right. So, office automation system actually IT applications that improve the productivity of the organization, that is first answer. The way of organizing the file structure, that is one of the aspect. A measurement of quality, not really. Technology reporting, not really. So, out of these two, the most related answer is IT applications that improve productivity. If you use office automation system, you can increase your productivity and the efficiency. You can have a lesser number of input and have a higher number of output. With lesser number of clerks, you can do more works if you are going to automate your system, right. file structure, the way of organizing the file structure is not related. If you are using MS Access, of course you can have a database, but it is only a one aspect, but the first question is more suitable for this answer, this question, right? Okay. So with that we will move to the next question. So the next question is, which of the following is considered groupware? Actually, what is groupware? Now groupware is now if you take an organization has information systems. So this information system makes an organization to work collaboratively. They can work collectively if they have information systems. Now as an example, when a person call to an organization, or when if a company call to an organization and make an order, right? Say you are working in a manufacturing organization which produce shoes. You are working in a shoe manufacturing organization and you are working in a marketing department. So the marketing department will get a order of 1,000 shoes to be manufactured within 1 month from a different organization for their purpose. So when you get that particular order, you have if it is done in manually, what you have to do is you have to inform, you have to document that order. If you get a phone call, you have to document that and make an order, and it should be sent to the accounting department, maybe to check the credit, whether we can make this order for the credit, and if that particular organization, their history of the purchases of the with our organization, you have to check. When that accounting department approves that order, it will go to the manufacturing department after that. So it will take time, right? It will take time. So in order to reduce that time and make the process more efficient, you can have this system which is interrelated, right? You can have a system which is interrelated, mean when you get the order and when you update that order in a system or in a database, if all the systems are connected, if the accounting department system is connected with the marketing, and marketing department connected with the manufacturing department, accounting also connected with the manufacturing department, when the order is came to the organization, all the systems will get updated. So they can work collaboratively to make that order without waiting much time, right? And also in your office, you are now using this Google Sheets, Google Docs, and you can work collaboratively there. You can share files without any hassle, right? So that is called groupware, where you can work collaboratively. So if you look all these answers here, organizational functional areas, no, it is not groupware. A method of arranging a business into business processes areas, no. Procurement process with key groups, no. A collection of tools to assist collaborative work in an organization. So according to my description, yes, this is the answer which is more related to what is groupware. Right. So with that we will move to the next question. What is workflow systems? Okay, what is a workflow actually? Now in your organizations, if you are working in an organization, you might know when you are performing a specific task, there is an order of performing that task. There is a flow of work that you have to do, right? So that is called workflow, right? You have to perform a task in a sequence way, right? So the same example that we looked in the previous question, if you get an order from your customer, then first what you have to do is it should be recorded by the marketing department, and the credit should be checked by the accounting department, and then the manufacturing department should collect all the resources and make the product, and then the packaging department should package the product, and with the invoice it should be sent to the customer. So that is the workflow, right? How the work is being arranged. So in the systems you can arrange this work in a flow. If the one activity say it is not done, then you cannot do the whole process. So that is called the workflow, right? So when you are doing it manually, actually you can forget some activities in the middle of the process. So to avoid that, you can make this workflow in a system. So the system will generate what action should we get in the next as a next step, right? So with that description, we will see what is the answer for this particular question. A series of tasks which must be performed in order to achieve a specific result or outcome in an organization. I think it is more related to this, right? We will see the other answers as well. A method of development, no. Pure research, no. A way of automating the business processes within HR, no. Actually, the most related answer is a series of tasks, right? You have to perform a series of tasks which must be performed in order to achieve a specific result or outcome in an organization, right? So that is called workflow, and this workflow is now being automated, okay, right. Right, then we will move to the next question. Which of the following describes an intranet? So what is an intranet? Now in an organization, there are two ways that the organization or several ways actually the organization contact with their employees and the external parties. So when it comes to the intranet, actually if you are working in an organization, you might understand some information you should know as employees, right? Only as employees you should know some information, but if you are in external parties in the organization, you should not give that kind of information to the external parties. Only as an employee you will know that. So that kind of information will be there in the organization website. So to see that information, you have to have a username and password, and you have to go to the organization's website, and you have to enter the password and your username and password, and when you go there, you can see the internal memos maybe, and maybe internal advertisements that set by the organization. There are newsletters which are circulated within the employees, right? And even your organization email you can access through the intranet, right? So the organization's internal employees, so internal people will get information through their own website. So that is called intranet, right? So with that description, if you go through these answers, an internal network used to share information using internet technology. Of course, the intranet is using the same internet technology that we use, right? So the same website they use and the same internet they use. Technology and protocols. Protocols means what are the laws and regulations in the internet, maybe the HTTP version, right? So those are the protocols, right? If you look at the other answers, e-procurement website used to purchase from vendors, right? From vendors, no, it is not intranet, actually it is kind of extranet, because vendors are in as an external party, they communicate with the organization. So for that the external people, we use the extranet, right? So that is a group of people, we give the username and password to access the organization website and to get their information. So if we call for a tender, we ask for our suppliers to quote for that. So for that they have to visit our website a specific space, and we give only the suppliers that registered with the organization the username and password. Not other suppliers in the external party can do that. Only that specific suppliers, or maybe even the your large customers maybe can access different information in your organization website. So that is called extranet. A group of systems connect to ERP, no. And OLAP, that is online analytical processing for data analytics. It's used for the data analytics for reporting. No, it is not an extranet, sorry, intranet. So answer is the internal network used to share information using internet technology and its protocols. Okay, right. So answer is answer 1. Right. So with that we will move to the next question. What is an expert system? Right. Actually, what is an expert system? Expert system is there now with this AI technology, artificial intelligence technology. These expert systems are very common in any organization. That is, these systems can analyze large number of data, we call big data, and they have more analytical power than a human, right? And give more insights towards the organization's performance, right? So you can analyze the sales data of the of your organization and give more insights. The insights which are not actually we don't know as a human if we analyze this data, and that is called actually data mining. These expert systems can do data mining, that is they can analyze large volume of data, that is billion or trillions of data, that is called big data, and they are analyzing not in surface level but in they are mining this data. So after mining this data, what they can do, these systems can predict, or these systems can come up with more trends, patterns, relationships of this data, right? So these patterns and trends might be not known even to the customers, right? If you analyze the data of the customers. So likewise, that is called, if you are doing such analysis and you are using that kind of expert system, and as I told you earlier, the AI is very involved in this kind of expert systems, where you are going to use artificial intelligence to analyze data and train your data and to give more future directions. So with that description, a system only used by an advanced user, no. A method of managing information relating to experts in a given field, no. A computer program that captures human expertise in a limited domain of knowledge, maybe. Technology used to manage reporting, no. So the correct answer is this. A computer program that captures human expertise in a limited domain of knowledge. So according to their domain of knowledge, maybe sales and marketing, HRM, accounting, they develop a human like knowledge, right? Okay, so the answer is answer number 3. Okay, so with that we will move to the next question. What is analytical and query software used for? Actually, this is a very simple question actually. With the question itself we can give the answer. What is the analytic and query software? That is the software that we use for the data analysis, right? And to query mean you are asking a question and you get information from the system, right? To manage online transactional process, to produce reports at any level of summarization, incorporating any comparison or relationship desired, pure research, maintain and update customer information. So according to these 4 answers, this is not to manage online transaction process, no. Pure research, no. Maintain and update customer information, no. So the most suitable answer is to produce reports at any level of organization. It can be either top level, middle level operational level to have summarized reports. After the analyzing, they make summary of the transaction and incorporating any comparisons and relationships. So it tells us the comparison. Comparison means they compare the expected results and the achieved results. So they compare, right? These are the expected results of this particular action. These are the say you are working in a sales representative of an organization. Then you are given a specific task, specific target to be achieved within 1 month of time. So that is your achievement or the expected results. At the end of the 1 month, when you do your sales, then your manager will assess you, right, using this analytics softwares. Then they will tell this is your performance, this is the expected, this is your achievement, whether you are progressed or not, right. So that is the comparison, and also some relationships. So if you analyze the customer data, you can see some relationships, right. If you everyone know in rainy days the demand for umbrellas are going up. So likewise, those are the relationships. So some relationships even we don't know, the customers even don't know the relationships, right. So those relationships can be analyzed using this analytical and query software. Query means you are asking a question and it will give the answer, okay, right. So the correct answer is answer number 2. Then if you move to the next question, right. So in this question, it asks how many steps must be considered when developing and implementing a knowledge management system. So what do you mean by knowledge management system? So knowledge management is actually gathering all the information of the organization, and it developed the organization wide information, right. So with that this information can be shared with the organization, and they can develop new knowledge to the organization, right. This information can develop new knowledge to the organization. So say example, now you have introduced a new product to the to your customers, right. So when this product after some time after it sells to your customers for a specific time, then you are gathering some data, right, information regarding this sales data, and also the customer preferences, whether they like this product or not, their complaints, their suggestions and everything. So those are called knowledge, or actually those are raw data, but it can be generated to new knowledge, right. So after you gather all this data, it will be here and there in the organization, maybe some with the marketing department, some data with the manufacturing department, right. So you have to gather all this data into one place, right. So this one place is called the knowledge management systems. So you are gathering this data to the knowledge management system and make your own information processing, and you develop some information to the every employee of the organization regarding this new product development, whether it is success or not, and that information can be shared with the employees in different levels. So if the product is success, you can tell your employees in the HRM department, marketing department, accounting department, this is how we got the success. Because of the good human resource, we success the product. Because of the good fund allocation, we succeed with the product. So likewise, you can use that information, or you can use that knowledge to generate or develop another new product to the in the future. Also, if you have failed with the product, then you can see where you have went wrong, and you can educate your employees, this is where you went wrong and this is how you have to rectify it. So likewise, you can make a knowledge pool in your organization, and these can be reports, this can be newsletters, maybe anything that you can develop, and you can share this information with the organization. So, in order to have this kind of information in your organization or implementing this kind of information system in your organization, you should follow several steps. First, you have to have a support from your senior management, right? The senior management should play a leadership role in gathering this information and do the analysis and sharing this information. So, some organization they are reluctant in sharing information, some organization they do not collect information, but if you are in a learning organization or if you are in an organization with a knowledge management system, the leadership should be there. And not only that, you have to have the relevant infrastructure implemented in your organization. It can be the softwares, right? It can be the devices, because you have to gather data from all over the places. And then you have to develop the databases, right, to save this data for the analyzing purposes. And you have to, sometimes you have to develop warehouses, right? Maybe those warehouses may be in cloud. Warehouses are the places where you collect data and store data relevant to a particular subject, right? And then you have to develop a sharing culture. You can have a good knowledge management system and good analytical processes, right? And you can develop good insights, but if you do not have a sharing culture of the organization, then you cannot share this information. If the employees don't willing to ask this or grab this information, you will not success. And then there is a mechanism to capture the new knowledge, capture this raw data to the organization. You should have a mechanism. The organization should have a mechanism. So, I told you, you have to have a supporting leadership, and you have to have infrastructure on the organization and the databases and warehouses, and you have to develop a sharing culture in the organization, and last you have to have the mechanism to capture the knowledge into the organization. So, I told you 5 steps that you have to have in knowledge management system. So, the relevant answer is answer 2, that is 5. Okay, right. So, with that we will move to the next question. Right. So, it asks about, in their text, management information systems, Loden and Loden highlighted one observation about 𝐾𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚 is which of the following, right. So, he in his the Loden and Loden is one of the famous authors who wrote his book on management information systems, and actually that is the Bible of management information system. In there he said, regarding the knowledge management system, there is a saying. So, it asks what is that saying. I will give the answer first, because these are not the answer. Effective knowledge management is 80% managerial and organizational and 20% technology, right. It tells effective knowledge management is 80% managerial and organizational, only 20% of technology, right. So, even without the technology, you can have a knowledge management system in your organization as in a manual way. But if it is in a computerized way, it is more shareable and more updated information you can see, right. So, that is why he told 80% is it is organizational and managerial task. It is up to the organization and the management to get this work done. At the last part only technology will come into play to have a system that is only relative to the in relation to the 20% of the total work. The other ones are not his saying in this particular book, right. Okay. With that we will move to this the next slide, next question rather. Research and development, R&D, can be which of the following? So, if you take research and development, actually why we talked about research and development in digital business strategy? Because the word digital or the nature of digital is actually an innovation, right. So, this innovation is always come through the research. That is why we talked about research here, right. So, every organization if you are doing this innovation and implementing system, they do some kind of research, right. And some large organization, they have specific research and development unit. Okay. So, research and development can be which of the following: a method of utilizing technology in an organization, an important source of innovation for companies, firm infrastructure that has been expanded, useful models for implementing change. Actually, research and development, through the research and development, the organizations will do innovation for their companies, right. Research and development will leads to innovation, new innovations. Through the research and development, we could gain new knowledge, and through this new knowledge, the organization will do new innovations. It can be new products, new services, new concepts, new methods, right, new tool, new device, anything, right. It should not be related to the product or service, but in a new concept, maybe new method. Right now in universities, we adopt student centered learning, a new method, right. So, it came through the research, right. After several comprehensive research of the world scholars, they implemented this student centered learning is the one of the effective ways of delivering lectures than the teacher centered learning, right. So, it is a method or approach. So, always the innovation may not be a product or service, it can be either method, concept, action, anything, right, tool, anything, right. Okay. So, if we move to the next question, which of the following best describes pure research? Okay. So, before moving to the answers of this particular question, I will tell you what is this research all about. So, actually if you want to do a research, first you have to start with the data, start with the problem, right. You should have a problem, and then you have to collect or you have to read what are the existing literature on the current problem, and still the problem is there, even the researchers, they do the research, still the problem is there. Then you are going to develop some hypothesis, right. Okay, I will do a research, and in my research I am going to prove this, right. Then you are going to collect data and do the analysis, and then you are going to either prove or reject the hypothesis, right. This is how the research comes. So, the pure research is actually those research will not, or it will impact on doing applied or applied research or innovation, but these pure research are more scientific based, right. Now, example, the theory of gravity. When Isaac Newton invented or discovered the theory of gravity, it is a pure research, right. It is a pure research. So, after that, many of the other innovators, they took the idea of this gravity, the principles of gravity, and they make new developments, maybe the rocket, maybe the airplane, right. So, those are the inventions or innovations rather, right. And if you now we are using in a commercialized purpose. So, pure research is always coming from the science background, and then there are research called applied research, that is those are more practical research. You go to the field, you collect the data, and you do the analyze, and then do the findings, right. Okay. So, related to this, what is pure research? Non-original research undertaken by non-specialists. No, it is not pure research, right. The pure research should be a original research, it should be a very novel idea. Original research work with specific practical layman applications. No, pure research does not have practical component, right. The use of existing scientific technical knowledge to produce new or substantially improved products or services. No, Pure research is not develop anything. Original research to obtain new scientific or technical knowledge or understanding with no obvious commercial or practical end in view. Yes, it should be original research, right? Very first time the world is doing this research in a scientific or technical knowledge or understanding to have how these things are happening in the world. The Isaac Newton, or so Isaac Newton got the curious about how this why this apple fell onto the top of his head, right? So that is the curiosity. So then he discovered that there is a concept called gravity in the on the earth, right? So that is a new understanding, right? Understanding, and he used a scientific way of getting this knowledge with no obvious commercial or practical involvement. He never invented any equipment or any tools after that. Only the theory was there, right? But after that, many other inventors, they use that theory to make their products, right? So when we are discovering some theories, or we do pure research, we only identify how this nature, how the things are in the nature is happening, or the environment, how the things are in the environment is happening, right? How these things in the natural environment is happening, but those scientists, they do not have any intention of making it commercialized. But of course, other in the future, the people or the inventors will use the specific theory and they will build new products. So that is called inventions, innovations and commercialization. Okay. Right. So in technology infrastructure, which of the following best describes a network? Right. So in technology infrastructure, which of the following best describes a network? Okay. So in network, I know all of you know what is a network now. Internet is a network. It is a interconnected devices which share information, right? So that is the answer to a network. Connecting computers and other devices to each other and also providing access to the internet. We see whether it is correct. A number of computers linked to each other so that they can communicate with each other and share the same files. Connected devices for input and output of data such as barcode readers and plastic swipe cards. All of the above. Actually, if you take the technology infrastructure in the viewpoint of networking, right? Connecting computers and other devices to each other and also providing access to the internet. Of course, it is a network, right? You have to connect all these devices and access to the internet, kind of network. A number of computers linked to each other. Yes, number of computers, those are linked so that they can communicate with each other and share files. Of course, it's a network. Connected devices for input and output of data such as barcode readers and plastic swipe cards. It also can be, right? When you go to a shop and when you buy some products, it reads all your barcodes and also it allows you to swipe your cards, the credit cards or the debit cards, and do the transaction. So the network should be there in order to do that. So that is also correct. So the answer is then all of the above. All the answers are more suitable to describe a network. Better described in the network. Right. Then the next question is, what does the acronym Wi-Fi stands for? Actually, Wi-Fi is a even though we say Wi-Fi, it is called wireless fidelity, right? Wireless fidelity, but actually this came from one of the organization's name, right? So it is not actually It is actually trademark of a company. Wi-Fi is a trademark. The more accurate version is wireless fidelity it came from, but it is just a trademark, right? It is not weak interface, file transfer, wireless interface or workflow interface. It is just a trademark of an organization. So what best describe the Wi-Fi? What do you mean by Wi-Fi? Right. So if you describe Wi-Fi in a better way, technology that links or facilitates that connection of a laptop or computer to the internet or to an intranet. A type of cable or wire. Actually, in Wi-Fi, it doesn't involve any cable or wire. It is wireless. Wi-Fi is wireless, right? So it doesn't involve cable or wire. A method for sending electronic communication via purchase order. No, it is not Wi-Fi. Business model for implementing technology. No, it is not. So the best answer would be the first one, technology that links or facilitates the connection of laptop or your devices to the internet or to an intranet, right? Any network without wires, right? The switches and hubs are there, the routers are there to connect them in a without fixing any wire. So answer is the first one. Then the next question is, what is a GUI or what GUI stands for? Actually, what is GUI? Now, I don't know whether you are in an era that you don't have GUIs or you don't work in a other than GUI environment, right? So GUI is now when you open your computer, you see the operating system. If you are using a Windows, you see the Windows operating system. If you are using Apple or MacBook, you see the Mac OS system, right? So or Apple OS system. So there you can go to or say you want to open a file, you can go to folders. It is in a graphical mode, right? You don't have to type anything. You don't have to give any command by typing anything on the computer. You can go there and just click, and then your files can be seen according to a order, and then you can only click that. Every time you can see graphics in the computer. So that is called graphical user interface, right? So before the graphical user interface, it involves a DOS environment, that is disk operating system, where you should give every command to your computer, right? You should give every command to your computer in a written mode, and then computer will work, right? But all the commands you should memorize, but here you don't have to memorize anything. Only the graphics will be there. According to the graphics, we know how to go to the system, we know how to go to the files. In any computer, system symbol is we know. In any device, we know the folder symbol. In any device, we know the browser symbols, right? So these symbols, so the graphics will give the direction of the for the files and folders that you want to go. So that is called GUI. So that is called it stands for graphical user interface, right? And then we will move to right. So that is all about the first topic of your revision. I have around 23 questions I have discussed with you all. So we will meet in another topic in next day. Thank you very much.